Kevin Costner staked $38 million of his own fortune on his epic western, Horizon, but its box office collapse and mounting controversies reveal a passion project teetering on the brink of disaster. This wasn't just a big-budget gamble. Costner famously put up his own Santa Barbara property as collateral, pouring his personal wealth into a four-part saga that had been a dream for over 30 years. Yet the first chapter of Horizon opened with a dismal $11.3 million, falling far short of its reported $100 million production cost. The movie ended its theatrical run with only about $31.4 million worldwide. This terrible start forced distributors to pull the second movie from its planned August release, delaying it indefinitely. Costner even stepped away from his hit show Yellowstone to make this film series. So why would an actor risk so much for a project that seemed doomed from the start? Western fans are some of the most dedicated people on Earth. Subscribe if you agree. This massive bet raises a huge question. Will Horizon become a legendary comeback or the biggest mistake of his long career? Stick around, because by the end, we'll uncover the shocking truth about how far Costner truly went to save his dream. Kevin Costner's connection to the American West is more than just acting. It's a deep-seated passion that goes back to his childhood. He didn't just stumble into the idea of a multi-part Western epic called Horizon. Instead, this story had been brewing in his mind for over 30 years. He first imagined this sweeping tale of settlers and Native Americans in the late 1980s, long before he directed his Oscar-winning film Dances with Wolves. For decades, Costner knocked on Hollywood's doors, trying to convince studios to back his ambitious vision. But time and again, he faced rejection. They saw the scale of Horizon as too risky, too expensive, and perhaps too niche for a mainstream audience. Their doubts did not dim Costner's fire. He believed so strongly in Horizon that he decided to put his own money on the line. To raise the initial $38 million needed to get the project off the ground, Costner made an astonishing personal sacrifice. He sold a significant portion of his beloved 10-acre oceanfront estate in Santa Barbara, a property worth millions. This wasn't just a simple investment, it was a deeply personal commitment, a clear signal that this project was more than just another movie. It was his legacy, a lifelong dream he was determined to see through, no matter the cost. His personal fortune became the very foundation for Horizon, long before a single camera even rolled. Bringing this epic vision to life meant facing an incredible uphill battle on set for Kevin Costner. He took on the massive job of directing, co-writing, and producing the movie himself. He knew deep down he was the only one who truly understood the story enough to make it happen. This was his first time directing in over 20 years. Instead of fancy camera tricks, Costner focused on capturing real moments and putting his actors in beautiful, sweeping backgrounds that felt true to the Old West. The sheer scale of Horizon created huge challenges. The story stretches across a 12-year period before and after the Civil War, covering vast territories like Wyoming, New Mexico, and Montana. Filming took place mainly in the rugged landscapes of Utah, in places like St. George, Moab, and Zion National Park. They even shot scenes in Durango, Colorado for Chapter 2. Imagine moving a massive crew, horses, wagons, and hundreds of actors across these wild, remote areas, all while trying to create a realistic picture of the 1800s.
Costner's dream needed a huge cast to tell its many intertwined stories. He planned for over 170 speaking parts. Big names like Sienna Miller, Sam Worthington, and Luke Wilson joined the adventure, along with his own son, Hayes Costner. Managing such a large group on a demanding period film was a huge task in itself. Day-to-day financial pressure was always present. Costner had poured $38 million of his personal money into the film's budget. He even took out a mortgage on his own oceanfront property in Santa Barbara to secure the needed funds. He deferred his own salary for acting, producing, and directing for both Chapter 1 and 2 to keep the project moving. When outside money wasn't there, his own bank account became the fallback. He once said there was no crying, no complaining about using his own money. This deep personal investment shows just how much he believed in Horizon, even as production for Chapter 3 faced delays because of money issues. The gamble's financial reality hit hard and fast. Horizon Chapter 1 stumbled out of the gate with a shocking opening weekend gross of only $11 million. This was far below what a film of its size needed to make. Costner's epic western had a reported production budget of around $50 million for Chapter 1. On top of that, Costner and his investors were paying for the marketing, which likely cost another $30 million or more. So bringing in just $11 million on its first weekend was a huge problem. The movie faced tough competition. It opened on the same weekend as major films like Pixar's Inside Out 2, which was still pulling in massive crowds in its third week. It also went up against A Quiet Place Day One, a popular horror prequel that opened strong. Horizon finished a distant third, dwarfed by these blockbusters. The timing certainly hurt, but the numbers showed deeper issues. Critics did not help matters. The film earned mostly mixed or average reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, only 51% of critics gave it a positive review. Many felt that Chapter 1 was too long and spent too much time setting up future movies without telling a complete story of its own. One critic even called it an excruciatingly tedious cinematic experience. This lukewarm reception from reviewers, combined with audience scores that were just okay, did not bring in the crowds needed for such a massive project. The dream of a grand Western saga started with a crushing financial blow. The disappointment of Chapter 1 at the box office was just the start of Kevin Costner's troubles. His ambition for Horizon is now facing deep legal and financial battles. Costner's exit from the hit show Yellowstone was messy. He claimed creative differences and scheduling conflicts with Horizon production. Costner testified in court that he wanted to return for a sixth season of Yellowstone, but negotiations broke down over money and creative issues. He even suggested he might sue over how his departure was handled. On top of this, his recent divorce settlement added more pressure to his already stretched finances. Christine Baumgartner, his ex-wife, initially asked for nearly $250,000 a month in child support, but a judge reduced the payments to just over $63,000 a month. Costner had to make a large upfront payment to Baumgartner as part of the settlement, and it impacted his available funds. This came at a terrible time, as he had already invested a reported $38 million of his own money into Horizon. Some reports say he even mortgaged property to help fund the film.
The future of Horizon Chapters 3 and 4 looks grim. Costner has already shot some footage for Chapter 3, but production stalled because he ran out of money. He is now actively seeking financing, meeting with billionaires to try and complete his vision. There are doubts about Chapter 2 even getting a wide release. Warner Bros. Pulled Chapter 2 from its August release date after Chapter 1's poor performance. It's unclear if Costner will continue to self-fund the remaining chapters after the significant losses and lack of studio confidence. He stated he will figure out a way to bring Chapters 3 and 4 to audiences. The dream of a four-part saga now seems deeply uncertain, with high financial and legal stakes for Costner's career and legacy. Despite initial box office disappointment for Horizon Chapter 1, grossing around $38.7 million worldwide against a $50 million production budget, Costner's unwavering passion continues to define his legacy. He personally invested $38 million of his own money into the project, even mortgaging property to make his vision a reality. While Chapter 2 premiered at the Venice Film Festival, its wider release was delayed due to the first film's performance, but it later found streaming success. Costner remains committed to completing all four planned chapters, having already begun filming Chapter 3, and hoping to shoot Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 back-to-back in spring 2025. This enduring dedication, despite significant financial risk and mixed reception, highlights the ultimate, yet still unfolding, cost of his cinematic dream. His reputation as a filmmaker who risks everything for his art is now permanently tied to the vast Horizon saga, shaping his career and personal wealth for years to come.